It's really important to understand that not all POS systems are created equal. Sometimes the POS system that you currently have is not really working. You've tried everything. You've tried to really improve operations, but you realize something is not working. So in today's conversation, I want to give you a few signs, not a few, a lot of signs. It's time to switch your POS system provider. Okay, if you're using something that does not work, you have to change. That don't change a team that works, but you have to change. You have to shift a team that doesn't function properly. So let's talk about this. I mean, in this day and age, it's not enough to just sell products in your store. Okay, the thing here is that the customers are waiting for more. You got to really have a great customer relationship, a system. You got to think about your inventory management. You got to think about things like employee management. You have to think about loyalty programs and a constellation of things that only a POS system. I'm not talking about a traditional cash register. A POS system can really provide. So it's really important to understand that POS system do a lot of things. They actually help your shoppers discover, research, and buy products using a mix of online and social channels and in-store experiences. So, however, not all POS systems were built to provide an omni-channel shopping experience. I want you to remember that keyword here. Omni-channel. Okay, sure, you can find an e-commerce platform that integrates with your POS and vice versa, but these integrations can cause irreparable problems. So it's really important to understand that when you are thinking about switching, you gotta switch it at some point anyway. It's really important to understand that your POS system will really be a foundation of your store in terms of revenue management. So let me give you a lot of signs, 18, 15, 20 signs. It's time to switch POS system providers. Number one, your POS system is hard to use. If it's very complicated, you know it's really time to change, right? If your staff is really telling you that they have problems with your POS system, it's really time to change. The second thing is if your physical stores are not connected to your online store, the gap there is going to create problems. You are going to lose revenue. So it's about time to change. By the way, boss, welcome back to the show. It's really a pleasure to have you here. In today's conversation, I want to talk to you about POS system and why you might want to change your POS system. If your growth is stunted by cost, if you know there is a problem in terms of your cost, in terms of your operational expenses, this could be linked to your POS system. If you have issues managing your growing team, your team went from, let's say, 12 to 120, then you know that you don't have the proper POS system to sort of accompany that growth. In other words, you can't scale. Your POS system is not helping you scale. Reason number 5, if you can't control staff permission, you don't know who has authority to actually log in, all that kind of stuff, then you know that your POS system is not the right POS system to have, okay? So when you can give employees access to certain actions in your POS, like approving returns, that can slow down operations and create more work for your managers, okay? And that's something you really don't want to have. Conversely, if your system does not let you restrict anything at all, can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Staff could abuse the system and give unauthorized discounts. For example, I'm not saying your staff or your personnel are dishonest. I'm just saying we're all humans. People actually have things. If they have weaknesses. Okay, you can have 100 employees, but if you have a bad apple, so to speak, the proverbial bad apple, if you have a sort of the quote unquote the bad employee, that employee can contaminate the whole system, and you don't want that to happen. Definitely don't want to happen. And so the next thing is, if your checkout is slow, if people are actually queuing up to actually checking out, and you know that this is slowing down revenue, this is really bad. Remember, a slow checkout means slow revenue. You are losing revenue. You are giving revenue to your rivals. Don't do that, boss. Do not do that. By the way, let me quickly remind you of today's topic. We're having a conversation about times it is signs. Very clear signs. It is about time to switch POS system providers. The next thing is, if you need to manually reconcile payment, can you imagine that? You're running a store. I mean, you're running one store or two stores, whatever. You are very busy, and at the end of the day, instead of actually going back home and saying hi to your wife or husband and saying hi to your children, you're going to spend time and just manually reconciling payments. What the F? Don't do this at all, okay? If you're finding yourself in a situation where you have to do this, you know it's about time to switch POS system providers. Next, if your transaction fees are hard to keep track of, you don't really know what's happening. It's about time to change. If you cannot accept contactless payments, NFC payments, it is about time to change because again, you are losing revenue because some customers are just used to that. They want to use their digital wallets. They want to use their Google Pay. They want to use their Samsung Pay. They want to use their other their Apple Pay. So please, if you're having this problem, you know it's about time to change. Another sign that it's about time to switch your POS system provider is if you can't serve customers, whatever they are. Okay? If your POS system is fixed to the checkout counter, to a cash register, and you can't meet customers where they are in your store, then you really think that they really are having a problem because with a mobile POS system, any smartphone or tablet becomes a checkout point, which time it facilitates time optimization, it facilitates line busting and a smooth shopping experience. We gotta really facilitate line busting. No queue at all. Okay, if your POS software cannot be customized for any way, in any way, shape, or form, because blah 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 reason, you know it's about time to switch your POS system provider. And if your reporting is siloed by a sales channel, some POS systems they're just trying to really categorize you or sort of force you to sort of silo your sales channel by whatever criteria. If you have this sort of restriction, you know you are really using right now the wrong POS system, and it's about time to switch, boss. It is about time to switch. It is about time to switch. I want you to tell yourself this over and over and over. If you need to manually reconcile inventory, another instance, let's say you need to manually reconcile anytime you have to manually do anything. As I said, it's you really want to change because you have to spend your I would say your creative time, your intellectual time in managing your business and running and finding opportunities and thinking about your vision for the future, not manually reconciling inventory, not manually reconciling payments. Whew, not at all, boss. If you have to frequently count stock to update quantities on your e-commerce platform or let's say brick and mortar store, it's probably time to look for a new POS system. Okay, think about how much time you could be saving with a POS that updates inventory quantities instantly as you process sales, returns, or exchanges online and in store. If your customer data is fragmented, you know it's about time to actually switch your POS system. Okay, this is very important. If your POS hardware takes up too much space, then you know, boss, this is really an important element you have to change. Okay, because many legacy POS systems they actually run on bulky hardware. If you have a small store or running a pop-up shop, for example, your POS could be taking up a precious space. Okay, and you will be better off finding a POS software tool that runs on sleek, portable hardware that doesn't take up too much room on your counter. And by the way, boss, let me quickly remind you of today's topic. We are having a conversation about 20 signs, 18 signs, 15 signs. It's about time to switch POS system providers. The next thing is if you can't get support when you need it. Technical difficulties are inevitable with technology, but if you can't get any support during your time of need, then it might be time to break up with your current provider. Or if it's difficult to manage cash flow, you have no idea, you have no let's say no visibility into your cash inflows and cash outflows, then you know that you are having the wrong POS system. And the last thing is that if customers cannot use gift cards both online and in store, then we have a problem. You need to understand, gift cards are getting more and more popular these days. In fact, the value of the gift card market in the United States alone was about 160 to 200 million dollars. Okay, 200 million, 200 million, like last year. So, and this is going to grow like crazy next year. Also, it might grow like to 300 million next year. So it's really growing right now. So, boss, I don't want you to stay on the fences and really lose revenue here. Here is a bonus I really want you to pay attention to. You need to understand There are certain things you need to consider before switching POS system providers, okay? And it's really important to have a clear idea about those things because you don't want to make a mistake real fast. So what I want you to do first is that you want to know your contractual obligations. So if you're currently in a contract with your POS provider, don't let that deter you from shopping around. If you find the right solution for your business, contact their sales team to see if they'll buy you out of your contract. You want to list your current POS system's shortcomings. So you have to see, the thing is you got to have a clear idea of what's missing from your current system that you want in your new POS. What features, what capabilities, what modules, okay, what functionalities in your current system can you not live without? Do your homework to ensure that your new POS provider has the specific features you need. You want to evaluate your future needs also, okay? Think about how you want to run your business in the future and how your new POS can support you. For example, if you want to open more stores, you would need to hire more employees, access to capital, and more POS terminals. You need to have a clear idea. In that case, it will be best to look for a system that charges per store instead of per register and lets you create unlimited staff accounts. Especially, you want to have a system that actually instill centralization in your operation. You also need to explore payment processing rates. Now, what are those? You need to understand credit card rates are a huge part of your operating cost. If a POS provider offers integrated payments, you want to read the fine prints and understand additional fees for hardware leases or annual fees. Some of them will want you to actually lease their hardware. Some of them will just want you to actually buy the hardware upfront. So it's totally up to you. Additionally, you want to think about which types of payments you want to accept in-store and online. You want to consider the fees associated with these transactions and how an in-store payment processor will work with your e-commerce platform or brick-and-mortar operation. Boss, this is so important because you got to really have a clear idea whether or not you need to use separate payment processors for in-store and online payments. You got to think about what the fees are, what fees are associated with each payment type, or if you want to have visibility on payouts and how much you are spending on payment processing. Think about those. This is really important. Next thing I want you to do here is to look out for hidden fees. Oh boy, boy, boy. Those hidden fees, they will eat away at your profits. So please be very careful here. Product limits, staff limits, e-commerce integrations, additional POS terminals. These are all places that POS providers may hide additional fees. So be sure to understand which features come out of the box and which may increase your monthly cost. Because at the end of the day, it's not just about revenue. Of course, you have to think about your revenue. I really understand that. But if you don't think about the cost, then your revenue ain't accounting for anything. Because if your revenue is static, but your costs are going up, then your profits is really going down. And you don't want to have that sort of a scenario. Okay, you want to see other POS systems in action. Please do not commit to buying something without seeing it in action first. I mean, if a provider is just talking to you about, hey, we want you to check this or check our system out, whatever, but they don't give you like a 14-day free trial or 30-day free trial. Like, let's say it's sort of a trial period. If you can't do that, then don't go with that. Okay, because they will just razzle dazzle you, just waste your time and confuse the hell out of you, but not really provide anything. Don't go for that. So POS providers offer free demos to show off their capabilities. You want to book several no strings attached demos to see what's out there and get a sense of their features and how easy they are to use. It has to be those things have to be easy to use. If your staff is having if they're having problems using the features of the new POS, it ain't worth it. It is not worth it. You want to ask other merchants for feedback. Don't be afraid to ask fellow shop owners which POS system they are using and how they like it. Merchants will be more candid than POS provider sales executives and can point out shortcomings you should be aware of. Okay, so this is one of those things you want to really pay attention to because at the end of the day, this is your store, this is your operation. Whether we're speaking about online store or brick and mortar store, you have to think about you got to have a vision for the future. And when we talk about a POS system provider. Before you switch, make sure that your personnel are okay with it. Make sure that your staff is okay with it. Your staff is on board, because they will be the ones using the system. And if they don't like it, or for some reason they have a hard time really understanding the features and capabilities, if there is a steep learning curve, you are going to have a problem, boss. Next thing I want you to do here is to determine if you need new hardware. Okay, will your existing hardware work with your new POS provider? Luckily, many modern POS systems are cloud-based, and they offer iOS and Android apps that make it a lot easier to switch software while keeping your existing smartphones and tablets. Okay, and cloud-based means what? Cloud-based means you have a SaaS business model, software as a service. So you don't need to download anything. The provider, the POS system provider, will take care of everything. You just need to log on to a website, whatever, and that's it. You want to try a free trial. Very important. I think I just said that. Don't buy it before you try it. Take advantage of a free trial to see if the POS you have chosen lives up to its promises. Okay, don't let anybody dazzle you. Sales executives are very good at convincing you to actually make the switch, but don't let that happen to you. Okay, you want to understand also the migration process. Okay, because the whole thing here is that if you have let's say, once you have selected your new system, you will need to migrate your sales, inventory, and customer data from your old POS to your new one. Your new account manager or onboarding specialist should help make this process as easy as possible. It must be easy as possible. So when you are ready to make the switch, schedule yourself a moving day to focus your attention on cleaning your data and preparing to import it to your new POS. And what's really important to understand here is that the migration or the transition, it should be seamless. It should be smooth. It shouldn't be complicated. Don't let, again, your POS, your current POS provider telling you, hey, you can't switch. If you switch right now, you might lose some data, blah, 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 blah. You're not going to lose anything. You have to speak to the new provider. Make sure that they give you all the assurances that you need, that you will lose nothing after the switch. Okay, and it's really important to have that in writing. You need to have that assurance from the new POS system provider in writing that no data will be lost during the transition process, during the migration process. You need to also create, the thing here is that when you are ready to make the switch, schedule yourself a moving day to focus your attention on cleaning your data, as I just said, and preparing to import it to your new POS. Some businesses may consider hiring an agency that specializes in migrating data across POS systems. You know what, boss? This investment is worth it. Don't be a stingy ass. Don't say, I don't want to spend that money, whatever. No, it's really worth it. So just to book that agency if you need to, and just make it happen. Next, you need to create a training schedule for staff so they have a chance to get used to the new system. Reach out to your POS provider for training resources to help staff get up to speed. Okay. And the last thing I want you to think about is you have to really expect to maintain both your old and new POS system for a small period of time. It's a good idea to maintain your old POS system for the length of your return policy so you can still process returns while you make the switch. And so at the end of the day, choosing the right POS system for your business is really important. Remember, a POS system is quintessential. It is a quintessential part of your retail store's tech stack, of your online store tech stack. It should help you make decisions with confidence and simplify day-to-day operations for you and your teams, okay? But as more customers demand seamless experiences between in-store and online shopping, more businesses are making the move to systems that can help them sell everywhere and manage all sales channels in one place. And this should be the goal. You want to really unify in-store and online sales with the right POS system provider. Thank you so much for your attention, boss. I really appreciate it. In today's conversation, I'll quickly talk to you about 18 signs. 18 signs it's time to switch your POS system provider. It could be 15, depending on the configuration of your store. It can be 15, it can be 18, it can be 20. But we think across the board, we have identified those 18 signs. It's about time to switch your POS system provider. And I give you the overview and I give you the approach. Thank you so much. God bless you. I will also talk to you about things to consider before switching your POS system provider. God bless you. I'll speak to you later. Until then, remember, stay marvelous.